DNA somewhere, and we're going to talk about
creativity
and authenticity, because they kind of go together in a special way around Allen Creek. You wouldn't think of those two values in an organization. You could have a really creative organization that's not particularly authentic.
Yeah.
Like you kind of think about Hollywood, whatever, like a studio or a theater group or something. It's like a really creative, or a band. I've been in bands that were really creative, but we weren't very real with each other.
Yeah.
And then you could think about places where maybe you feel safe to be yourself, but there's not a whole lot happening there in terms of... So the point is they can be independent values.
Right.
They don't have to go together. But at Allen Creek, they uniquely...
Well, I think when we did a whole study about our church and what people identified as things that were critical to our unique thumbprint, these are things we did best. These were things that just stood out as uniquely strong values at AC3, and they just happen to,
So we kind of discovered the values. We didn't necessarily...
Well, we set out at the beginning to be creative, to say that it was time for us to redeem the arts in the local church. Because in the last probably 200 years, there's been a hostility between the arts and the local church community.
It's that rock music.
It's rock and roll and jeans.
Yes, and ladies not... Well, I don't want to make too much fun.
What are you doing? What are you doing? It's for the kids.
Comedy. I'm being creative. It's comedy.
So we said that's got to change. In fact, for most of church history, there was a beautiful harmony, and in fact, the leadership of the church in the arts.
Right, Michelangelo, most of his great work was...
Architecture, art, painting, music, Bach, Beethoven, all these...
It was sacred. It was sacred art.
So we said, let's do that for the sake of some of the other things that are of high value, which is communicating the gospel in a culturally relevant way. So using the arts and being part of the arts community, it's just been a huge value.
And at the same time, we've kind of discovered that when we did actually some detailed survey work with people, we found out the thing that they appreciated and that meant the most to them was often the sense of authenticity. People said they loved that they could be themselves, that they could come as they are, that however they were dressed, that whatever their story was, they felt... And that really connected nicely with the creativity, because to be creative is to be vulnerable, right? I mean, you're an actor and giving sermons and stuff. You realize
throwing yourself out there.
To sing, to even, we show visual art here. Yep. And I've been surprised with the artists I'm not a visual artist, so I didn't understand it, but the vulnerability that they feel, they're really exposing themselves to their audience. So to be a place where you're going to feel safe, where you can authentically be welcomed, it really lends to the creativity, and a kind of a beautiful cycle begins. Now, we found in recent years kind of a new way to express that, and that is to connect with other artists in our community and other arts events. And we've got two things coming up here in the near future that really represent that. One we're showing here, which is going to be a really cool, we're super excited about this. We're going to host it here at the Allen Creek building. But it's put on by a group of guys here in town. They're calling themselves the Public Servants. And it's going to be an art showcase where they're going to have spoken art, hopefully dance, music, visual arts, photography, all kinds of stuff here in our auditorium. Artists are going to perform and show their wares, and you'll get a chance to meet them. That's coming up on March 7th. Right here at the Allen Creek building. It's going to be so cool, and we get to be a part of it.
Yeah, and apparently this is a hunger in the community, because now Red Curtain Foundation is a Marysville centered initiative that wants to kind of start to do art exposés in Marysville, which is really cool. And they've actually leased a building in town, and we thought that was a big part of our community center dream, was to do arts and connect with the arts community, relationship and all that kind of stuff. So we thought, rather than reinvent the wheel, let's tie in with that, and then
let's support what they're doing.
Let's see what kind of partnership flows out of that.
Yeah.
So we've actually got tentatively a new pause event that we're going to do, partnering with the Red Curtain Foundation to put on a play here during our pause, during August. It'll be the Cotton Patch Gospel. The Cotton Patch Gospel, which is a very modern southern retelling of the Gospel of Matthew. So an amazing inviting event, a great way for us to partner with artists in the community, and another thing to do during the pause so that we get it.
So these two events are really a great expression of this creativity and authenticity coming together in a way you wouldn't normally expect from a church. historically, maybe, where we recognize that the arts themselves speak. And that
God is a creative God.
God is look around. God is a creative God, and so we want to support those endeavors, and we want to be vitally connected to our arts community here, so that we can authentically be Jesus people in our town with our neighbors, and we can have a lot of fun doing it too. So be sure to check that out. Made You Look is the event, coming up March 7th here at the Allen Creek Building. And then there'll be more information coming out about the Cotton Patch Gospel, both on AC3 websites, blog, and check out the Red Curtain Foundation right here in Marysville to get more info on all their events.
Should be artistic and fun.
Artistic and fun. No dancing, though, because that's wrong.
That's right. And none of that rock music.
None of that rock.